Hello, and welcome to this online tutorial for high school students working on your grade 11 or grade 12 English Independent Study. My name is Jessie, and I'm a librarian with the Thunder Bay Public Library. And I'm here today to show you how to get into the library's online databases, choose some databases that are going to be specifically relevant to your independent study work, and some ideas on how those databases can help you. So let's get started. To access the online databases from the Thunder Bay Public Library, you start here at our website. The URL is just www.tvpl.ca. From here, if you navigate and click on the Research tab, and then click on the Research option from the top of the left-hand side menu that pops up on your screen. This brings you to this intermediary page, which has an image of the sleeping giant that was probably done in Microsoft Paint circa 1994. It is very vintage. If you click on the image of the sleeping giant, it will ask you to log in with your library card number and your PIN number. So I'm going to go ahead and log in with my library card number and my PIN number, which you can also do with your own information. And then you click on Login. Once you're logged in to the system, it brings you to this alphabetical list of all of the databases that the Thunder Bay Public Library currently subscribes to and provides free access to for all of our members. Now, out of this list, you might be wondering which databases are going to be the most relevant for your independent study. So instead of you having to go through all of them and try to pick and choose, we've actually done some of that work for you. So if you click on the Search by Subject link up here at the top, it brings you to a much shorter list, and this is topic specific. And if you click on, let's say, the Books and Literature area, then it will bring you to this screen here, where it gives you some suggestions on the databases that we suggest you use for your independent study or for looking up information about books and literature. There are a few databases that I would strongly recommend out of even this shorter list, though. First and foremost, I'm a big fan of the Literary Reference Center Plus database. Following that, I would also recommend the Literature Resource Center database, as well as Gale Virtual Reference Library. The Gale Virtual Reference Library is the database where you're going to find series such as Novels for Students that you may have heard about in your classroom and in conversation with your teachers. So in order to get into one of these databases, all we have to do is click on the link for that database and click on its name. So I'm going to click on the link for Literary Reference Center Plus, and that should navigate us over to that database. Here we go. So now that we're into the database, we can see that the layout is pretty standard. We have our search box here at the top. We've got some featured collections, as well as some featured author information and some information, in this case, given that it's April and it's National Poetry Month, we're getting a little bit of a focus on poetry. But let's say, just for argument's sake, that you were studying The Great Gatsby. Paying attention to what's in the featured collection box can be really helpful and very, very helpful to you in case something is there that is of interest to you or it's right on the topic that you are studying. So if we go up to the search box, it defaults to keyword. You can change that, but it's a really good idea to just stick with keyword for the beginning portion of your search so that you can try to find as much as possible within the database. Now let's say, for argument's sake, that you were studying The Catcher in the Rye. So all you have to do is type in, or even start typing in, the title of your book, or perhaps the name of the author of your book, or some of the themes that are in your book. And you click on search. This is then going to give us a list of all of the items and articles that are in this database that have something to do with The Catcher in the Rye. Now you can see here that we get a total of 49 results. And before I dive right into the search results, I'm actually going to focus on the screen portion of the left-hand side of my window here. So what I have over on the left-hand side here, and this might be on the right, it might be on the top, it might be on the bottom. The important thing when you do a search in a database like this is to look around for these additional refined results options, because you can really narrow down your search results using these tools before you actually have to go in and click on anything or start reviewing anything. So as an example, we could limit our search results just to the articles that are available to us in full text. So articles that we are going to be able to get in and read the entire article, not simply accessing, say, a summary or a synopsis. And you can see that automatically cut out 13 of our results and took us down to a total of 36. So there were 13 items in that original search results list that weren't going to be very helpful to us. You can also play around with how recent and how current the information is. So if you wanted to cut out some of the older material, or if you wanted to cut out some of the newer material, you can do that as well by changing the range of publication date. You can also pick and choose from different types of sources. So in this case, if you're working on an independent study, chances are you want to focus on literary criticism. So that now takes us down to 18 results. So here we can see the 18 articles that really, really fit the type of search that we were looking for. And if we were to browse through, and let's say there was an article here that we wanted to take a closer look at, you could either click on the title of the article, or you could click on the PDF full text. I'm going to go ahead and click on the title of the article, though, to take us into the record for this particular article. And what we have here is we have the title of the article, the author or authors, where this article was published, when, and how long it is. And we also get some of the subject terms that show up attached to this article and a very brief summary. Over here on the left-hand side is where we can click on the PDF full text and go in and actually read that article. And it might take it just a quick second to load. There we go. So here we see our entire article that we can start to read. We can also do things like we can print this article. We can email this article either to ourselves or maybe to a classmate that we're working on our project with. We can save this article to our Google Drive. We can also save it to a folder within the database itself. One of the other really helpful tools is the citation tool. So if you click on the cite option here, it will bring up for you the different types of citation formats and give you the exact citation that you need. So if you, as an example, are using MLA for your English work, you can simply copy and paste that citation directly into your works cited. So really, really helpful tools that are always available in these databases. One of the really great things about using these online databases for your independent study research is that you're getting access here to articles and information and content that has been edited, peer-reviewed, and published in reputable and credible books, journals, and academic level publications. So you're not having to worry about kind of sifting through thousands and thousands of search results in order to find things that are going to be really and truly relevant for your work. So now that we've done a really quick example search, I'm hoping that you feel a little bit more confident with using number one, the databases, and number two, all of the tools, tips, and tricks that are available in them in order to help make your life a little bit easier. And when you are trying out different databases, look for different types of tools and tricks that are available. Not only are you going to find different content between the different databases, you're also going to find that some databases have all the standard options like print, email, share, and cite. And then others are also going to give you additional features such as the option to listen to an MP3 file of the article being read out, or the option to translate the article into another language. So hopefully you'll find those helpful as well. And if I click on research again, down at the bottom, there is a link to a page of our website that is devoted to secondary sources. So this page, it gives you some information about how you can find books within our physical collection, which will hopefully be really helpful for you once we're back in the library buildings and we're able to be open to the public again. It also gives you some reminders. So you've got a link here to get back to our virtual collection should you forget how to navigate to it from the homepage. You've also got some reminders of the databases that we would recommend you take a look at, as well as some links to some really, really fantastic, helpful tools for building your works cited list and building citations in general. So thank you so much for your attention. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at reference@tbpl.ca, and you can also get in touch with us online here at our website. There is a contact us button down at the bottom, which matches the contact us button just up at the top. So you can get in touch with us multiple ways. Also find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Have a great day, you guys. Good luck.